In this remote village in the Philippines, some small-scale miners are reworking an old mining tunnel. For 3 months now, the miners are paid by their financier about 200 to 400 pesos, or about $4 to $8 each for a day's work, depending on the amount of gold they can amass. It is backbreaking and tedious work, from mining the tunnel to milling the ores. And it is a dangerous one as well. To capture the gold dust after the ores have been milled, the miners use one of the most toxic metals known to man, mercury. Mercury is used to form an amalgam, which will then be smelted, isolating the gold, but also releasing mercury fumes into the environment. Small-scale miners say it is the fastest and easiest way to extract gold. The World Health Organization categorizes mercury as one of the top 10 global chemicals of major public health concern. The Philippine government, for its part, has put a ban on mercury use in the artisanal small-scale gold mining industry since 2012. But 8 years have passed since the issuance of the ban. Why then are operations like this still using mercury? Mercury is a naturally occurring metal. When released to the environment, it can be toxic. It is indestructible and can bioaccumulate and biomagnify in the food chain. Exposure to mercury can lead to a number of illnesses, including brain damage, serious birth defects, and even death. Here in the Philippines, the artisanal and small-scale gold mining sector is the primary anthropogenic source of mercury pollution. Artisanal small-scale gold mining, or ASGM, is considered a valuable source of income in the country. It is estimated that there are around 500,000 ASGM miners operating in more than 40 provinces across the country, with millions more depending on the sector for livelihood. This can't be truer for 3 neighboring towns in the province of Camarines Norte, in the country's Bicol region.
Spanish time pa po ay marami na pong mga nagkakabo dito. Hindi pa mga Pilipino, karamihan ay mga dayuhan. Talaga pong ang ginto ay napakarami na matatagpuan dito sa bayan ng Paracale, kasama ang bayan ng Labo at ang Husi Panganiban.
Serafin Dasco is a former town councilor of Paracale and a small-scale miner himself. He chairs the small-scale miners' organizations of both his town and the whole province.
Dito po sa Paracale, pag i-account natin ang involved sa mining, masasabi nating mga 50 to 60%. Sapagkat hindi naman po lahat yan ay nagkakabod. Kaya lang, lahat ng sektor, katulad ng tindahan, ng negosyante, kung wala po kaming mina, bagsak din po yung kanilang negosyo. Kaya mamamatay ang aming ekonomiya kung mawawala po ang mining sa Paracale.
Close to 70% of the country's annual gold supply comes from the ASGM sector. Based on government data, the sector produced an estimated $14 million worth of gold. The real figure is presumably much higher. But despite its value to the country's economy, ASGM operations are still largely informal and illegal. When President Rodrigo Duterte came to power in 2016, the government cracked down on illegal ASGM operations in Camarines Norte.
Nang magkaroon ng paghihigpit ang national government, nagkaroon ng cease and desist order, ipinatigil lahat ng mga illegal miners. Doon namin naranasan na napakalaki ng epekto sa aming sarili, sa aming kabuhayan. Sapagkat kapag ikaw ay nawala ng pagkakakitaan sa loob ng isang araw, kawawa ang iyong pamilya. Wala kang maisuporta sa kanila.
Operations halted for a while, but would later resume again though still technically illegal. The prohibitive cost and the demanding procedures to gain formal operation have dissuaded small-scale gold miners from applying for permits. Here in Camarines Norte, some mining practices are already deemed illegal to begin with, like this process called compressor mining, which allows miners to descend into murky waters using a plastic hose for breathing. The hose is attached to a compressor that provides artificial air.
Kung papansinin natin, napakakarampot lang ng kinikita nila kumpara dun sa hirap na kanilang nararanasan at delikado pa sa buhay. Ano man yung gawin namin na paghikayat sa kanila na itigil yung ganitong hanap buhay, hindi naman kami makapagbigay ng alternative na hanap buhay sa kanila. Wala rin naman kaming kakayahan para suportahan yung kanilang pangangailangan.
According to Serafin, ASGM is still a poverty-driven industry.
Nagsimula ako magmina ay mga 10 taon pa lang. Yung una, madali nakakakuha ng ginto. Nung tumagal, nauubos rin baga, ay pahirap na rin ang pahirap.
Larry Bobis has been a miner for 20 years now. Unable to finish high school, he says he tried to attend school again now that he's an adult, but his own circumstances made it difficult for him to finish.
Nag-eskwela ko hanggang second year, tapos nung nag-eskwela uli ako ng ALS. Kung may mga anak na ako, ay balak ko saan mag-eskwela ng ay hindi rin magkakayanit, may mga anak na baga. Kasi pag nagtigil ng pagkakabod, paano na yung pamilya? Ang isang araw namin, 300. Minsan na hindi pa naabot ng 300. Pagka mahina ang nakukuha ang ginto, hindi ka abot ng 300, 200. Ganyan. Minsan nga ay wala. May araw na walang kita.
Like Larry, majority of small-scale miners in the country are engaged in subsistence mining. As much as 75% of the total ASGM population usually only earn enough to buy food, water, and other basic needs for a day. The subsistence nature of mining contributes to continued mercury use in the ASGM sector, mainly since it is considered a relatively quick and easy way to produce gold. This, and the fact that the sector is largely informal and therefore unregulated. Conservative estimates by the United Nations Environment Program in 2017 reveal that artisanal small-scale gold mining consumes 35 to 105 tons of mercury in the country annually, while globally, the sector is emitting and releasing 410 to 1,400 tons of mercury into the environment every year. Currently, the ASGM sector causes more mercury pollution globally than any other human activity. In 2013, the Minamata Convention on Mercury was signed by over 120 countries, including the Philippines, with the intention of protecting human health and the environment from anthropogenic releases of mercury and mercury compounds. The convention was named after the Japanese city of Minamata, where the most catastrophic incident of widespread mercury poisoning in history occurred. More than 1,000 people died, and many more were crippled for life in the tragedy. Non-government environmental organization Ban Toxics has been a consistent presence in advocating for the ratification of the Minamata Convention in the Philippines. In 2019, it took part in the Minamata Initial Assessment to determine the scope of mercury pollution in the country.
The Minamata Initial Assessment conducted in 2019 named 18 hotspots in the country, including 5 bodies of water, such as Manila Bay, Mambulau Bay in Camarines Norte, and Maykawayan River in Bulacan.
In the past few years, Ban Toxics has also conducted several mercury inventories involving gold processing facilities from various mining communities.
The impact of ASGM, the main anthropogenic source of mercury emissions and releases globally, are not fully known due to the informality of the sector. Ban Toxics research in 2017 shows, however, that this could be significant. The fact that the Philippines is one of the top producers of gold globally should also be considered.
Ban Toxics research revealed that the average mercury used to produce a gram of gold in the country ranges from 10.61 grams to 48.1 grams. Arlene Honrade, Monitoring and Evaluation Officer of Ban Toxics, identifies governance and enforcement of existing laws as among the key factors that allow continued mercury use in the ASGM sector.
Enforcement of mercury ban are still very inconsistent since the bulk of responsibilities are devolved to local government units. Regulation and enforcement practices vary wildly depending on the priorities of the LGUs. In some areas, there are LGUs who are involved in mining. They are involved in selling mercury. The LGUs actually are the ones who are preventing the miners in being legal because of corruption. Because they're making money out of the illegal operations.
Madali na lang yung contract mo. Kasi halfway done ka na doon sa mga kailangan.
Charito Elcano is a mining financier determined to legalize mining operations in her town in Jose Panganiban. She experienced firsthand government corrupt practices associated with ASGM that at times can be life-threatening.
Ito, constant reminder. Constant reminder to. Pinilipit nila yung kamay ko. Binaril nila lahat yung mga manok namin. Lahat ng gusto nilang kunin, kinuha nila.
The first time her mining operation struck high-grade gold, armed men she believed to have connection with state forces robbed her.
Sabi niya, magtatagalan pa ba niya tayo? Uumagahin tayo dito. Ang gusto kong magkaroon ng minahang bayan dahil yun nga nakikita ko na palala ng palalang korupsyon. Kumbaga masyado nang nakatanim, nakaugat na ng gusto. Maraming ahensya, sabi ko nga, wala ka nang mapili. Nandyan ang Highway Patrol Group, nandyan ang lahat. Sabi ko, anong kinalaman ng Highway Patrol Group sa pagmimina? Di ba? Kung legal kami, mawawala nga naman yun. Wala na yung payola ni ganito. Wala na.
A deeper motivation that fuels Charito's resolve are the deaths in her family caused by mercury poisoning.
Ang niluto naming ginto noon ay 8 kilo nga na nalason yung kapatid ko ng asoge. Siyempre na tumataas yun nalalanghap niya, pati yung anak ko. Yung kapatid ko pagkaraan ng ilang araw sa ospital namatay yun. Mercury poisoning. Yung anak ko, ang manifestation noon sa kanya, lumabas ay after 15 years. Namatay siya. Ang sabi tinanong lang ako ng doktor nung mamatay na, sabi niya, anong business niyo? Ako, nasa mina po kami. Yun na nga niya, I guess, sabi niya ganun. Kasi sa balbula daw ng puso ng anak ko, may nanigas na mga parang sedimentation na ang karakteristik daw mercury. Yun, sabi nila. Yun na naging talagang tuloy-tuloy na yung aplikasyon ko noon.
Meanwhile, in this mining town in South Cotabato, in the island of Mindanao in southern Philippines, the local government has taken a different approach with regard to small-scale gold mining.
We have continuous coordination with the small-scale mining. Kung may mga issues, pinatawag naman sila. With the mayor, presiding the meeting. And maganda naman yung relationship ng LGU sa kanila kasi yung mga permit, gina-assist natin sila sa permitting para continuous yung production nila.
Tiboli is home to the first fully monitored and regulated mining areas in the country through the establishment of Minahang Bayan, or People's Small-Scale Mining Areas. Since 2015, Ban Toxics have worked closely with the Tiboli local government and the mining communities to improve ASGM conditions in the town.
Mabuti na lang, pasalamat kami. Very early naman yung intervention, awareness ng mga tao. So, through Ban Toxic, through ILO, nagtulong din dito. Masaya rin kami kasi parang na yun, nag-level up naman tayo. We need to stop using the children and the women. Discourage using mercury.
On September 9, 2019, the local government issued Executive Order Number 20, prohibiting the use of mercury and gold ore processing in Tiboli. The ban covers all small-scale mining areas and hopes to fully achieve a mercury-free gold production within 2 to 3 years. Tunnel inspectors like Peter Arobo from the Provincial Environmental Management Office of South Cotabato regularly visits mining operations to ensure the implementation of the mercury ban, among other things.
Since 1964-65, talagang panning area na ako. Since 1989, from Liwalwal, dito ako, nag-lisa ako. Dahil dati ako minero. Noon, nag-start kami ng panning area doon sa Nabunturan. Wala talaga mercury. Nagturo sa akin yung mga igurot galing sa binggit. Nakukuha namin ngayong gold sa mga proseso. Pero walang gamit na mercury.
Peter is referring to the gravity concentration method, which the local government recommends. It is a traditional process, also known as the Benguet method, named after a province in northern Philippines.
Ito ang gold ore. By pala, nilagay doon sa bone mill doon. Every 3 hours, kailangang ma-refine na doon naman patungo sa cyanide processing.
Another method of recovering gold available to the miners in Tiboli is cyanidation, where a cyanide solution dissolves the gold from the host rock. Cyanide, although toxic, is considered safer due to the fact that it does not bioaccumulate like mercury.
So galing doon, pagkatapos na ang waste dito na i-drop, patungo na doon sa tilingpan. Ito na.
However, cyanidation is a longer process and takes 15 to 20 days before the gold gets extracted from the ores. This is one of the cyanide plants in Tiboli, owned by Manuel Afang, who is also a mining financier.
Sa ngayon, medyo mabagal talaga ang pag-ipon ng ginto at pagkuha ng ginto kasi cyanide ng gamit, hindi na mercury. Medyo diferensyado lang kasi pag mercury ang gamit, madali lang. Kasi yung cyanide, more or less mga 20 days bago ka pa makikita ng finished product mo.
Ang association po namin is composed po yan ng mga landowners ng area, siyempre yung mga pamilya namin. Tapos, meron din from the tunnel operators, yung mga non-IP members din po sila. So,
Juliet Magwan and Datu Edmund Ugal are officers of the Magwan Clan Small-Scale Miners Association operating in the Minahang Bayan in Quematu Village in Tiboli. Though they strictly follow the mercury ban, they share the sentiment of other miners and mining financiers who wish the government would provide more alternatives.
since last year, parang humina na rin yung production namin dyan sa Minahan. Kasi yung iba, naghanap na ng ibang trabaho. Yun yung dahil na rin sa halos kailangan ng kapital doon para makapag-rolling. Kasi nga, niband na yung mercury sa area o sa amin dito kasi Minahang Bayan nga. Kasi kami sa association, pinupush naman talaga namin yun na kung hindi tayo susunod, paano yan? Huhulihin tayo.
Ang mga tribo dito sa Barangay Quematu is almost 70% ang kanilang kabuhayan nagadepende sa mining activities dito sa Barangay Quematu. Ang cancer namin ho dito, itong mga small scale na mga tribo, ang kanilang kabuhayan is papasok ng talil ngayon dahil ang iniisip nila yung kanilang pagkain ng kanilang pamilya, pag-aaral ng kanilang mga anak, after end of the day, magkapira na. So, ang problema ngayon, kung walang mercury, paano? So, ang hinihiling nga namin, anong alternative?
Para mas maging madali sa amin yung transition from using sa mercury into mercury-free facility, kailangan namin yung tulong ng aming gobyerno para at least matulungan kami kung paano mag-start ng panibago. Kasi hindi naman madali yan Medyo may kamahalan, kumbaga.
Still, mercury use has not been completely eliminated in Tibuli. Ball mill processing facilities, which are located outside of the Minahang Bayan areas and within residential compounds, still use mercury illegally due to the fact that they are not monitored as often as mining tunnels. Bantok 6 was able to record this conversation with a ball mill owner familiar with current mercury trading practices.
Di man ta kapalit kung ginagkan karon ito nga sa silor gato kung gipalit kiti mahal pasan-pasan na mura ganay shabu na bitaw nga nanay-rani ay di man kapalitan ay halimbawa na maduo sa mo yaw sa kailang maligid ni pero di man sa mga tagata na so ang kanila nga ikaw kaila ka na ko ikaw ka kanino niya inanang style nila silupin lang ganang ginasudlan no silupin na to ang gisudlan na to ibutang mas pinky para ma-prevent kung hindi sa mabuntag yung biyahe mo kabugat nila.
Bantok 6 research reveal that mercury in the Philippines is sourced from neighboring countries such as China, Indonesia, and Malaysia through various illegal and legal means. An informant tells Bantok 6 that mercury used for small-scale mining is smuggled from Indonesia.
Yung mercury galing po ng Indonesia. So binabako ko kami din ng Santos City. Then kuminsan nasa Mako Warp and pababa ng Tagum. So ang ginagawa nila dyan is mayroon silang sariling bangka na gamitin para papuntang Indonesia. So yan ay tinatawag na smuggled goods. So galing ng Tagum, dadala sila ng mga goods na papuntang Indonesia at pagbalik. Yun ang dala nila yung mga mercury. Pinakamalakas is China. Galing ng China, papuntang Indonesia, din papuntang Jinsan. Yung karamihan kumisan papunta ng Luzon.
As mentioned by the informant, as well as other miners in Tibuli, smuggled mercury can be bought in Tagum City in eastern Mindanao. Tagum City is an important hub for both mercury trading and illegal gold buying due to its proximity to major ASGM areas. A team from Bantok 6, led by Arlene Honrade, posed as mining financiers to find out if gold traders are still selling mercury.
Ha?
Mahal na gid.
Ano mahal naman?
Mercury ba?
Pwede na daw na. Ang mercury karon bilang 10,000 kung subo dag palit kay mamatay na ko. Oh, may takmo dito sa mga ikuan, di ba kaila palit na pwede pala lahat. So kuan.
Okay, nahotdan mig mercury dili na mo mahurot og process.
Tagpila.
Pila inyo?
Oo, mura gyud mo giadto.
1,000 ang kilo.
Hari-hari gapon. Mahal po di ay na.
Dito,
Unsa kada ko ng isa ka? Unsa isudlanan anang isa ka kilo?
kan 1 kilo ni.
Katanaw dati? Unsa?
Ah,
maura ni?
Oh, 1 kilo.
Oh. Dumati nga. Halakwin kay igo ning isa ka kilo kwin. Pwede daw 1/4.
Pwede.
Pwede 1/4? Pila ang 1/4 eh?
The team was able to buy 1/4 kilogram of mercury for 2,000 pesos, or about $42 US. Meanwhile, back in Camarines Norte, in Labo Town, another approach to ending mercury use has taken shape. In the village of Malaya, the small-scale miners took it upon themselves to ensure that all mining operations in their area are mercury-free. And they couldn't have done this if not for their well-founded grassroots organization.
Dati po ito kung naandyan nakatayo yung dating bulmilan, tapos ito po wala sa ayos yung proseso ng pagbubulmil dahil lahat ng mga tubig na ginamit dito sa bulmilan, direkta pong umaagos yan dun sa ilog. Kaya labo yung ilog.
Noah Lantin is the president of the Magkamataos Small Scale Miners Association.
Napakalaki po nung ipinagbago mula nung may organize po yung samahan ng magkakabod dito sa aming barangay. Dati po, bago pa may organisa, totoo man po yung binabalita sa TV na talagang ang mga magkakabod ay naya na yung droga, sugal, sabong, kaya halos walang mga magkakabod na umaasinso. Tapos karamihan pa hong bahagi ay napapagsamantalahan dun sa pagpapartihan, sa pangunguna ng financier, tapos yung mga player.
Similar to what happened in nearby towns, mining in Barangay Malaya was also shut down for a while. Magkamatao applied with the local government to have their area declared as a Minahang Bayan, and with the help of Ban Toxics and the ILO, the approval was fast-tracked.
Ay habang nasa proseso nung pag-a-apply nun sa Minahang Bayan, ang unang-unang isinagawa po nung Magkamatao, yung pagre-rehab po dito sa kaburan na ito. Pagtabon dun sa mga inabandon na mga balon ng mga financier. Nagsagawa din po kami dito yung pag-tree planting sa 20 meters sa panabihan ng ilog. Noon po, halos wala pa din naman kaming alam tungkol dun sa asugi. Basta't ang alam namin, makakuha kami ng ginto, laganap talaga po dito yung mga gumagamit ng asugi. Ang ilog noon hindi mapakinabangan, hindi maliguan. Sa pamamagitan po ng Bantoxics, mga paseminar, unti-unti po naming naintindihan kung ano yung epekto ng asugi doon sa tao.
The Magkamatao have since utilized the gravity concentration method in capturing gold.
Mas marami na recovery ng ginto dito kasi may ingat na yung nagtatrabaho. Wala siyang asugi. Ibig sabihin, kung ano yung gaano kasinop yung pagtrabaho niya, doon madami ma-recover na ginto.
Rodrigo Villesa, a former barangay captain, is also a longtime advisor of Magkamatao.
Kasi doon sa may asugi, mga 70% lang na nakukuha. Mas dito, mga 90% yung nakukuha. Mas kakaunti na yung tumatapon doon sa tubig.
One of the key aspects that made the Magkamatao a successful organization is the strict adherence by its members to its own rules and principles.
Ang isang pinractice namin doon ay yung equal na sahod. Kahit may tungkulin ka doon sa pagiging, kung ikaw ay team leader, ikaw ba ay timberman o makinarya ka man, ang pinractice namin yung equal sharing. Kung anong kinikita, base doon sa lakas paggawa niyang iniambag doon sa korporasyon, yun na yung kanyang sasahodin. Pinatutupad na namin yung mga patakaran na kapag malaki na yung income, 75% dapat ito sa pangkabuhayan, pampamilya. At ang 25% ay ilaan doon sa pansariling pangangailangan at sa medikasyon.
In 2018, members of Magkamatao set up an agricultural cooperative, and with their earnings from mining, they were able to buy a small piece of land. Currently, they have a greenhouse, a solar-powered water pump, and are working towards harnessing more solar energy for the mining operations.
May mga plano na rito na papaano yung sakahan, may isasabay na rin doon sa pagmimina. Kasi dapat yung mga produkto dito, mai-supply din natin doon sa Minahang Bayan para hindi na tayo bumili ng mga pagkain na mula sa bayan. Kasi dito, ang gusto natin dito ay yung mga produkto natin na nilikha, yung kooperatiba naglilikha, tinitiyak niya na yung pagkain ng mga magkakabod ay organiko at wala siyang mga chemical. Mas dito tayo mag-focus sa agrikultura. Kapag nakuha na kasi yung bita na may ginto, hindi naman na uli yan nagkakaroon. Hindi magtataga at mauubos din yun. Habang nagkakabod ay mapaunlad itong agrikultura at makapaglikha ng mga produkto na makakadagdag doon sa income ng ating mga membro ng ating asosasyon. Kung sakaling hindi na natin kaya na i-operate yung ating Minahang Bayan, mas malaki na yung ating mga produkto na kukuha dito sa agrikultura. Ito yung nakita natin na pangmatagalan na mamanahin ito hanggang sa mga susunod pa mga salinlahi, itong agrikultura.
Back in Paracale, Serafin Dasco is continuously working for the legalization of small-scale mining operations in the province.
Ginagawa namin yung ganitong pagliligal o pagpupormal para ipakita sa gobyerno na mahal din namin ang kalikasan. Kung lahat ng mga magmimina sa lalawigan ng Camarines Norte ay tuluyan ng maging legal, kasama ng mawawala ang paggamit ng asugi. Hindi po kami papayag na tuluyang mapariwara ang aming kapaligiran. Gusto namin dumating yung panahon na kahit mawala man ang saganang minahan ay maging mayabong ang aming produkto sa kalupaan.
Serafin's journey to a sustainable future, free from chemicals like mercury, will go through a long and difficult tunnel, but one that he and his fellow miners should traverse. Ending mercury use in the artisanal and small-scale gold mining sector will require all stakeholders to dig deeper into issues of poverty, government responsibility, and environmental awareness within the sector itself. But once achieved, it will be like striking gold.